I started kind of making YouTube videos again, just talking and stuff, because I was kind of watching some YouTube video of Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was kind of saying how um, like you kind of start with content, and people think they need a fancy camera or they need perfect lighting or any of these other things, but really you can just start documenting what you're doing in your day to day, or start documenting what you talk about, or some of the things you're working on or thinking about or studying, and that's enough to kind of make a social media footprint. And he was making the point of why today, in today's day and age, why it's so important to have that digital kind of presence. Like he was saying how if there's like if people watch TV, they don't really wait till a certain time to go watch TV. They can just go on Netflix and watch it whenever, or Amazon Prime, watch it whenever. Um, go on They can record it, or they can go on YouTube Red, I believe, or do whatever else to go and watch it. And if there's a commercial, they can just turn it silent, or they can just not listen to it. They don't really have to deal with it. And so all the old kinds of advertising, and all the old kinds of um, like kind of businesses getting in contact with people are lost today. And now many of these old established businesses are failing, if they're not learning the new way, which is social media. And like kind of building that social media presence. He makes a point that why it's so important to be able to have that presence and have that um, kind of contact with other people, and that um, digital footprint of sorts, because it can scale rapidly today more than ever before. And all you really need is to be consistent and be creating content. And I used to think that that was different for YouTube, but I'm finding that it's really not. You just create content, title it, and kind of write the details of it, and you can upload it. And it's sort of similar to Instagram. My Instagram kind of grew and continued to grow slowly and steadily, but it grew. And it did so only because I was just consistent, and I consistently posted quality, semi-quality content for 6 months ish, 6 months plus. And it grew, and if I continue to, it will. And the thing is, you continue to do it for months and years, and after a certain point it will become a snowball, and it will start to roll on its own without you putting more into it. At some point, like same with businesses, they reach that point where they have like enough money and they're established. They're not going to die like right away, or in the near future, and they have kind of more ground, and more leverage, and kind of many things can happen at that point. So I guess the main point of this is it's important to build a digital presence and a social media presence. And I have a lot of different YouTube videos that I can make and talk about different things that I've learned or studied, or that I've kind of gotten to have experience in. And I can just kind of make videos and talk about it. Like there's a video on powerlifting training and powerlifting programming that I wanted to make for like the longest time, but I just never did because I didn't have sort of like the nice camera and the like the whiteboard and stuff to kind of go and make it. But like I could make it in the future, but I could, if I can't make it with the whiteboard right away, I could do it just talking about it, and kind of impromptu like that. And then future, when I have it all set up, I can do it in a nicer way. Um, so that's kind of it. Uh, that's sort of why it's important to build a uh, digital presence today in our day and age in 2018. And kind of why you want to do so, because if you want to compete with other people, like your name is a kind of brand, and whatever you do, it kind of I mean, everyone has their social media presence, their online presence, and then who they are. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. um, it can be a good thing, but also it can be kind of I don't know, just like fundamentally important. And it's something that, I mean, if you're involved in, then you, it's sort of like the internet, you know, that people didn't want to get involved. I was like that with social media. I didn't want to get involved, but it will get to the point where you sort of have to, or everyone's doing it, and maybe it's holding you back from your job or your work or your family or relationships or other parts of your life if you're not getting involved at least a little bit. And that happened before with the internet, may with social media right now. And like Gary Vee kind of says, like we're in like a like dawn of an era, like we're in a kind of day and age and a time where certain things I mean they matter, and social media and online presence matters, and it's still new-ish, you know, but in the future it won't be, and other things will be new. I think in the future technology and different things that expand with technology will be new. So and social media will be old then. So if you start now, you'll be ahead of the curve, and you'll be one of the established people 5 or 10 years down the road, most likely. So that's sort of why it's important to have a digital presence in today's day and age, and why I think I'll, even if I feel like they're sort of shitty or they're not very good, I'll still continue to upload, because all it takes is a few followers and then you start to grow. And it's important to build, even if it's very small and tiny, to build some sort of digital presence and social media presence in this day and age.